Be ready to be inspired. This is Radio Entrepreneurs, and our next guest is going to be very exciting. We're at the South Shore Chamber of Commerce. I'm here with Laurel Egan-Kenny, the COO for the Chamber, and I know this next interview you set up is just wonderful. It's Amy Martell, and this does not cover the breadth of what we're going to get into from whole family law and mediation. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I really appreciate this.
Well, let's start peeling back that onion. First,
Okay.
let's start with whole family law and mediation, what that is.
So great. So whole family law and mediation, it is a out-of-court resolution firm. So I am one of the South Shore's only full-time collaborative law conflict resolution professionals. So I work with families to help them resolve or prevent disputes out of court.
Wow. And do you want to fill in the gaps for those lay people who don't know what that really means?
So what that means is that for
None
any
of whom are in this room.
Those miserable people who are listening to the show who are thinking about, how
What does that
the
mean,
problems
really,
with
in
their
my
attorneys
life?
and
Right,
divorce
exactly.
and divorce court in Massachusetts, which is a
Yeah.
difficult and painful process.
It's a horrible process.
I just told somebody last week, I said they didn't design the court process to be pleasurable for divorce.
Not only that, they didn't design it for divorce in its entirety. So the reason that we're stuck in this court process is that years ago you actually had to file a quasi-criminal complaint in order to be able to get divorce. You had to file a complaint for divorce, and you had to prove fault in order to be able to
Like
obtain
you're not
that
miserable
divorce.
enough when you're getting divorced
So-
that you have to feel
well,
worse about yourself.
So, but we've now, what's a shame is that the laws have now shifted. So we now have irretrievable breakdown of the marriage and a
Right.
no-fault divorce. We now have it pretty much across the country and in many different countries around the world. But the court process hasn't caught up.
I know.
And the legal structures still haven't caught up. So there's still this element of this adversarial system that's built in inherently, and most people don't know that there are alternatives. So that's what I'm here to provide, is an alternative. So I work with people who are going through divorces. I work with people after they've gotten a divorce.
So let's
Okay.
be a little mechanical for
Okay.
people. Laurel and I are married, and she's neglected me.
This
And,
relationship has taken
just,
on a
it's
whole
just
new
not
level.
it's just not working for me
Yeah, yeah.
anymore. She doesn't like me anyway.
Yep.
And we have to go for divorce. What do we? The two of us together retain your services?
Correct. So, well, it depends. So, when I work as a mediator, I work with both people. So, even though I'm trained as a lawyer, I am not representing you. I'm not representing Laurel. But I'm working to help the two of you have the conversations you need to have. I call myself sometimes a Sherpa. So,
The
I'm
conversations we need to have. I'm sorry, I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
But isn't it
What does
too
that
late
mean?
at this point? Is it too late
Right.
to have those
Right.
conversations?
Well, but
We
you
have
have-
6 kids together. She doesn't want to have more.
you have to have certain conversations when you're going through divorce, and you can
Okay.
either
You
have
have
them.
to.
Well, you have to come to either
Right.
an agreement about what's going to happen with your finances, with your
Kids,
kids.
I was
kids.
going to
Have
say
to
the
come up-
children.
Kids.
It's gotta be
So
about
you
the
can
children.
either
It's
decide
always about
between
the kids, no
yourselves.
matter what your relationship.
You have to put
and
them
that's
first.
why the court process is so ill-fitting, because you're going to have to parent these kids for the rest of their lives. There's a lot of emotions, and that's what mediation can do too. Is that I have a background in being able to listen to people, help them hear each other differently, understand what's going on. People say things, but they really mean something else. They're really
And you
thinking
have
about something else.
some form of therapy background, don't you?
I never wanted to go to be a lawyer. I was always told when I was in high school, be a lawyer. I thought it was the most soulless thing a person could possibly do. So
That's why I didn't go into the law.
Clearly. So I went
Right.
into the arts. I was a music teacher. I was a performer. I was a music therapist. I have my master's in music therapy from NYU. And I practiced
this.
in that
Diversity.
field for a while. And then I felt like I wanted to do something different. I was working with kids with special needs, and I felt like I wanted to kind of get involved in the bigger issues around them. So I spent some time evaluating what was my next step going to be. I actually took some time off entirely. I worked as a bartender at Number 9 Park in Boston.
Wow.
I wanted to kind of just figure out the next step, and all the signs kept telling me to go to law school.
If somebody wants to be smart and go down an alternative route, which is a
Yeah.
lot safer, a lot less expensive, and a lot emotionally
Lot
more
less
protective,
expensive.
how do the people find you?
A lot of people Google mediation and they wind up finding me. They can find me. I'm in Marshfield. So my office is at 769 Marshfield over on Enterprise Drive. They can look me up on the web, wholefamilylaw.com, and learn more about mediation. They can learn more about collaborative law if they feel like they need to have an attorney with them, but they want to still keep this process out of court, still focused on communication and connection and building an agreement that's going to be lasting and takes into consideration both both parties or all parties' higher interests and needs. They can still work out of court, but with that attorney in the room with them.